while I'm working outside today. It's a beautiful spring day. It's like 55 or 60 degrees. And that got me thinking, okay, let's talk tomatoes. These are about 3 weeks old and they're ready to have their own pot. You don't really want them to get root bound and horrible in there. And I just plant these that way so I can get good germination. I can see how many I've planted. This tray has 50 single cells in it. And you can basically put a couple seeds in each, as you can see I did with the peppers. And you get 2 pepper plants if you want to pot them up. Otherwise, we're going to take those individual tomato plants and we're going to give them their own pot, just like this, until the weather warms up enough to plant them outdoors. We always hear not to start your tomatoes too soon, and there's a very good reason for that. What happens is they'll start producing flowers, they'll get root bound, they'll get big, and you really want them to get established in the ground. So these are tomato seedlings that I started 8 to 10 weeks before our frost date, and these are 6 to 8 week tomatoes. So we started these 6 to 8 weeks before our last frost date, which is why there's a sizable difference. But what we want to do is make sure that these stems are nice and thick. There's a couple ways to do that. If you're lucky enough to have them outside in a greenhouse, that's great. You still want to put a little bit of a fan on them, because what will happen is as the breeze blows, they'll toughen up and they'll keep themselves from blowing over. So that's how you're going to get a thick stem on the bottom. If you're still growing them inside under lights because of the weather, what so have you, you'll just have a fan, very low, just enough to move the leaves every so often. It doesn't have to be on all day. Or if you do not have a fan, you can simply run your fingertips over them a few times a day, and that also will help. And you'll just see the stems start to thicken up a little bit. That's really what you want. You want a nice, short, stocky start to your tomato plants. Okay, so we're in the beginning of June, first week of June, at our house. Everything's kind of starting to shape up nice. We got some peonies in bloom. Rock garden's looking very festive. And today what I wanted to do is just tell you a little bit about tomato pruning. So here is a tomato. You can see the size. It's been in for a couple weeks now. And what happens is, if you see this right here, so this little side shoot that's coming out about 45-degree angle from the stem, this is what needs to come off. So we just pinch it off like that, because what you don't want to do is have all these side shoots and all these extra things, and then it really gives you a tomato plant that is really crowded. It's not going to have good air circulation. It's going to be more prone to pests, and you're not going to really be able to have a handle on your crop. So all the way down to there, get all of these little side shoots that are growing at a 45-degree angle. And you just keep up on that, and you keep letting them grow taller and taller. That's really going to help the plant with your crop. It's going to help with diseases. It's going to help sort of keep things at bay. So you see these little guys that are in the middle? They're just starting. Down here, see, here's the main stem. Here's the side branch, and you want this guy right off of there. I hope this helps and gives you an idea of a how to keep your tomatoes pruned, and you just keep up on it. Every time these plants get taller, you're going to want to keep up on them, stake them up. These are tomato ladders. I like using those as opposed to the cages for the ones that get really tall. And it just allows, I don't know, just allows so much more stabilization for the plant. It allows more circulation. They're very sturdy. They go in the ground pretty deep. So that's it.